Good morning, kids. It is Monday of a 5-day week. Yeah, but which was weird because we thought for sure, given the fact they canceled this past Saturday, they were, definitely going to be working us this Saturday, and it wasn't scheduled, which shocks the hell out of me. But good morning, folks. Yeah, once again, it's time for some news. I'm dying laughing. I just read something out there on another wire. Let's clear up some misconceptions and shall we say, oh gosh, complete lack of reality, nonsense. Somebody's going around saying that when RTD takes over, he's rebooting Doctor Who, like he did in 2005. Folks, I have never seen the new series as a quote unquote reboot because A, they maintain the continuity of the original show, if not adding to it over the years. And they've also always referenced in some way or another the classic series. So that's not a reboot. Two, if you honestly think, or B, whatever, if you honestly think RTD is going to step in next year and magically erase everything that's going on for the last how many years going up, this is the guy who, restarted the show to begin with. And you think he's going to waltz in there and go, oh, since a bunch of you didn't like that last story arc, I'm just going to restart the whole thing from scratch. Can I buy some pot off you? That's all I got to say. It's not going to be that way. Now, Millennium FX has been brought back in, of course. And like I said, folks, you got to remember that exactly, they're not going to just magically erase everything that happened before just for the sake of convenience and all that. It's not going to happen. The 14th Doctor, 15th Doctor, whatever will be the 14th Doctor, 15th Doctor. That's not going to change. They're not going to completely alter and erase everything because sadly there's a group of individuals out there who are trying to basically claim that Jodie Whittaker is not part of the illegitimate timeline. They've also pulled this crap on the Ruth Doctor, aka the Fugitive Doctor. They're trying to say my favorite one is out there is the alternate universe. I really wish they'd wake up Capaldi. Blah blah blah. They just skipped over. Blah blah. What a bunch of arrogant asses. So no, it's not going to be a reboot. All right, BC3 whatever, wherever we were at, I lost track. The Doctor is not going to be, the next Doctor, is not going to be James Corden. That was pretty much an inside joke that was being bounced around because since he announced he was leaving the Late Show and going back to the UK, there was a group of folks out there assuming, and also Stephen Colbert and all them know what's going on online. With the latest, rounds of speculation. So that's exactly what's going on. It was a joke. It's not real. So no, it's not going to be a reboot, and no, it's not going to be James Corden coming in as the next Doctor. It's just amazing to me, how gullible some of us out there have gotten. It's we've got a list of future Doctors now that's literally running back to the end of the world. It's and they've even brought up Rocky Thakrar's name, and I'm like, I remember back when she was supposed to be the next companion for Capaldi, and it turned out it was Pearl Mackie. All right, and she did become a companion of the Doctor, but it was on Big Finish. All right, let's clear up some other more interesting nonsense that's going around out there. Someone's now blatantly declared Big Finish and the novelizations aren't canon. Me personally, whatever you think is canon, more power to you. But we also have to remember that in Night of the Doctor, which was our 7 minute, regeneration episode, we finally get Paul McGann back on the air, so we'll give him 7 minutes so we can legitimize the War Doctor, and get that in there for that incarnation. And it's sad too because A, it should have been done years ago. B, it should have been him going into Eccleston. And all of a sudden C will take advantage of this, big gap that, everybody quote unquote overlooked. But okay, so somebody was now running around saying Big Finish isn't canon. All right, well, the problem with that is remember when Paul McGann's doctor is about to drink the stuff given to him by the Sister of Karn, the names he rattles off are the names of his Big Finish companions. Well, at that time, because there was more to come after that. Like Charlie, Kariz, and all that were from Big Finish. So you have to say to some degree, Big Finish has been canonized. Plus, if you go back and listen to our podcast we did with Lisa Bowerman, and this was many, many, many moons ago, all the scripts for Big Finish, have to be approved by the BBC before they're put out to be recorded. So, I don't know. I leave it up to you. To me, Doctor Who canon is the canon you shoot yourself in the foot with when you try to establish a continuity for this show. Because there's so much lore, there's been, a few spin-offs, and that includes like, Probe and, which was the further adventures of Liz Shaw, basically. Then you had Auton, then you had this, you had that, you had all kinds of weird spin-offs here and there over the years. So it's not, trying to establish a canon for this show is very, very difficult. Why would I wish everyone a good weekend? The weekend's that many days away now. A good week, yes, of course. We can always hope for a good week. Then we get to the weekend, then we'll wish everybody a good weekend. But yeah, the Omega Files is up if you want to go watch it. For you folks who are interested, I just cannot rate this last episode highly. Legends of the Sea Devils. It looked to me like Chibs is run canon. Yeah, that's what I mean. Ain't it funny? When there never really was an established canon in the first place. Oh, okay. Is it a bank holiday there? Oh, I didn't know. Because even back in the classic series, there was never once this doctrine that was pasted on the walls of the BBC that said Hartnell was the first incarnation of the Doctor. As you saw with Philip Hinchcliffe and them back in the Brain of Morbius, it was, those were supposed to be incarnations of the Doctor before Hartnell. But of course, we being fans didn't get that. We thought, okay, wait a minute, that's got to be Morbius's because we don't recognize any of these faces. But we also have to remember, if you sorry, so I was just reading a comment and I lost track there for a second. But as I said, it's like they are pretty much established later, and if you watch the commentary that goes with that episode, they said no, these were incarnations of the Doctor before Hartnell. And they were trying to establish the fact the Doctor had been around a lot longer than we've seen him on television. And it was pretty much accepted doctrine at the time. Like I said, I thank goodness social media didn't really become a thing until it did, because just imagine them back there, like I said, during the Pertwee era. Barry Letts has been enforcing a Buddhist agenda on us. Ugh. Like, okay, yeah, like I've been telling people, someone just brought up a good point. Hartnell, as far as the television series goes and all that, will always be the first Doctor. There's nothing that's ever going to take that from him. And if you think that Hartnell could be so easily dismissed and disrespected after how many years of lore, just because they decided to say something happened before he was on the air, I got some bad news for you folks. There were adventures on Big Finish with the First Doctor and Susan that took place before they came to Earth, one of them being called Quintus. And that was when the chameleon circuit was still working and all that. So now, are you going to say to me they're disrespecting, the show because they decided to have something that took place before that? Also, a lot of people have been harping on Chibnall because he's now said that he refuses to name a proper era for when the fugitive Doctor came in. And like I said, to me, that means I could still go with the theory that she happened between Troughton and Pertwee. Well, Black Orchid was not a bad story at all. It was fun. Plus, it was dark, had some sinister moments. And it was the last true, pure historical of the series. And a lot of people have been saying lately, oh, look, this is a historical. Now, to me, historical is, at least a pure historical, is where there are no alien or what you call it threats. It's just something to do that happened in history or in a time period in all that. There was no alien menace threat or anything like that. And that's what Black Orchid was in essence. Well, folks, I just looked at the time. I have got to run. So please, everyone out there, be kind, be calm, be safe, take care of yourselves and each other. Watch out, because I know people who are now on their second time getting COVID. So that thing's still running around out there. And so be careful around that. Please, everyone, just remember, take it easy out there because we all want to see it in the future. Have a nice day, everyone.